into my skillet. Okay, I have a skillet preheated about medium-high heat. This is a red copper skillet. It's a non-stick skillet. You can use any kind of non-stick skillet you want because we're not going to be adding any oil to this. I have 3 cups of fresh spinach, and all I did was take the spinach and just rip it into pieces and take some of the thicker stems off just because I don't really like to eat those myself. So we're going to put this in this pan and we're going to let it wilt down a little bit. Now you could also use chopped frozen spinach. If you did that, you would just need to thaw it out in the microwave and put it in a cheesecloth or a several layers of paper towels or a clean dish towel and squeeze out the excess water. Because if you tried to saute that or make this filling with that, you'd have a lot of excess water in this dish. Now 3 cups of spinach is equal to 3 greens on the Optavia Lean and Green meal plan. And I am making 3 servings. So if you're going to do 4 servings, just use 4 cups of the spinach. Okay, that's all we need of that in here. Now I'm going to add, oops, I almost forgot it, the red pepper flakes. I have a half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. If you don't like your stuff very spicy, reduce that amount or substitute some other herb that you like. Thyme would be really good. Basil would be really good. Tarragon, marjoram. And then we're going to add 6 tablespoons of light cream cheese and 1 tablespoon of sour cream. The light cream cheese in this recipe is going to be counted as a healthy fat. So 2 tablespoons of light cream cheese is 1 healthy fat. So there's 3 healthy fats we're adding into this filling. And the sour cream, 1 tablespoon, is counted as a condiment. So we have 2 condiments so far mixed in with this spinach filling that's going to go into the chicken. So we're just going to stir this and mix it up until the cream cheese is melted. This is what is replacing the goat cheese in the original recipe. I don't know about you, but I really like goat cheese. I know a lot of people don't. But I wanted to add the sour cream to the cream cheese so we get a little bit more of that tang that comes from goat cheese. I don't know if there is a reduced fat option available for goat cheese somewhere. I know our Kroger doesn't have it. So this is what I'm going to substitute in place of that. If you are able to find low-fat goat cheese and you want to use that in this recipe, you would have to count it towards part of your lean and reduce the lean components of this accordingly. But I just decided to go with this, counting the cream cheese as a healthy fat and the sour cream as a condiment, because reduced fat goat cheese is not available in my area. All right, so as you notice, I'm kind of squishing those chunks down with my spatula as I stir this so I can smoosh those out and get those mixed in. This would probably really make a good sauce for pasta too. You could, or not pasta, can't have that on Optavia, but spaghetti squash or zoodles you could toss with this and it would probably be really good too. Or just toss it with some cooked shrimp or chicken and have a dish that way too. All right, so I've got this all stirred in together. I'm going to gather it all together on onto a plate. So actually, I'm not going to gather it to a plate. I'm just going to gather it to the corner here so we don't miss any whenever we go to stuff our chicken. And I'm going to put it in this Pyrex container so there's a chance to cool down a little bit before I start to handle it. As an alternative to doing this, you probably could stick it in here and just stick it in the refrigerator for a little bit, help cool it down, make it a little bit easier to handle when you go to stuff the chicken. And honestly, I think I might do that while we get the chicken prepped. Alright, I think I got about everything out of there. Turn off this burner. Get this here all the way. I'm going to drop this in the refrigerator real quick. As you can tell, I don't do these recipes ahead of time most of the time to show you. It's real live cooking here. All right, so I'm going to angle this way so you can see the next step of this recipe. Get that adjusted. All right, so over here I have 3 chicken breasts. I've cut these down a little bit so that each chicken breast is equal to 7.5 ounces pre-cooked. When this is cooked down and added with the cheese that's going to go into this recipe, that's going to equal 1 lean per person. Again, 3 servings. So I have a baking sheet here that I have lined with foil because I don't know about you, but I hate cleaning cheese stuck to a baking dish. And I'm just going to lightly spray this with just a little bit of cooking spray so it's easy for them to get the chicken off later. Place these breasts topside down first, and I'll tell you why here in a minute. And I'm going to place them where I don't actually going to want them to bake, because I want to season the backside of the chicken too, so that all of this chicken is seasoned. Get this out of the way. Wash my hands real quick. Always wash your hands with hot soapy water when you're dealing with raw chicken before you go to your next steps. You don't spread salmonella everywhere. Alright, so to season this chicken, I have a half a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of black pepper, and a half a teaspoon of smoked paprika. Okay? Those are all going to be counted as condiments in this recipe. 1 condiment for the paprika, 1 for the pepper, and 2 for the salt. And we're just going to give this a stir with this. So we have a nice little seasoning mix. Okay? You could use any combination of seasonings that you want as long as it equals 4 condiments when you're finished. Okay? So I have these upside like this. I'm going to take a pinch of this seasoning and I'm going to season each one of these chicken breasts. Actually, it looks like I'll probably be able to flip over like that off my fingers. Looks like I'll probably be able to use a couple pinches for each. Paprika is going to give it a nice color and flavor. And these were the original dry seasonings. All the seasonings in this year are the original to the recipe. The only thing I really substituted out was the substitution for the goat cheese. Okay, so I'm going to flip these over and I'm going to put them in a different spot on the baking dish since that cooking spray has now rubbed off where I had them sitting. Okay, give my hands a quick wash again. And I'm going to season the other side of the chicken with a couple pinches each. Some of my pinches didn't feel even, so if you saw me go over twice. Okay, so I still have more seasoning. I'm going to use that again in a little bit. Then I'm going to take a nice sharp knife and I'm going to cut slits about halfway down these chicken breasts where the stuffing is going to go. Not all the way through, just enough to kind of fillet it open so you've got a little pocket. Okay, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slits on that one. Okay, anybody that knows me knows I'm all about things coming out even, so each of these are going to have 5 slits. Well, this guy's going to get just one little tiny one right there, but I might put another one right here. There we go. Okay. Alright, so we got those Hasselbacks. Hot soapy water and wash these hands again. Alright, I'm going to grab my seasoning, or my stuffing, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, that got pretty cool pretty quickly. Okay, I'm going to divide this up into thirds, and then 1/3 of this filling is going to go into each chicken breast. Alright, I got a little spoon here I'm going to use to help me out. I'm just taking this little teaspoon. I grabbed a small spoon because I figured that was just going to be a lot easier to get this down in those slits. This is the boring part of the recipe. So while I'm doing this, and we'll talk about a couple other things that you might do with this. If you're not a spinach fan, you could use any other kind of veggie or no veggie at all if you would like. You could do kale. You could do chopped broccoli. That would be good. That one I kind of messed up the proportions here. Let me just kind of smooth this around here. You could also use mushrooms or zucchini or tomatoes. Anything like that would be good. There's a ton of different combinations you could come up with to do this. A little bit more in that one. All right. And then the last one. I may come back and add a little bit more to some of these other fillets because I don't know about you, but when I'm trying to divide things evenly, it seems like the last one always ends up having a lot more. Another good seasoning to use instead of the paprika might be garlic powder. You could, sorry, that is my hair. Nobody wants to eat that, so I'm sorry about that got in there. I should have put my hair back. Get that off my finger. Nice. Remember, I am not a professional chef. Unfortunately, my piece of my hair came out. Alright, so I'm going to add a little bit more into some of these others. So I have a little bit more filling left. It looks like that one has more than the others. Scrape my bowl here. So, those of you who don't know me, I am an Optavia health coach and a dentist, and I love to cook. I love to do come up with creative ways for new recipes for lean and greens. So that's how most of you have found me. Some of the other coaches have been talking this up on our Facebook page. Just know that I am actually a really clean person. That hair that fell out was just kind of an anomaly there. Lots of gloves and disinfectant used in the office. Alright, so let me give my hands a quick wash again. Alrighty, we got a little bit of this seasoning mix left. So I'm going to use that to finish seasoning these chicken breasts on top of what we have here. A little bit, one pinch on each of these, and then I'm going to divide this 1/3 of a cup of low-fat mozzarella cheese. Top them off. You could use any kind of shredded cheese that you want, as long as it's reduced fat. You could use cheddar, which would be really good with this also. We just had a lot more mozzarella than cheddar, so that's why I chose to use the mozzarella. Plus, I thought this would be a good thing to have with spaghetti squash and the low-carb marinara sauce, because each of these is only going to have one green, so you're going to need 2 more greens, and you have enough for 2 more condiments. So you could serve this with some steamed broccoli with another condiment, or like I said, the spaghetti squash, like a cup of spaghetti sauce with a 1/2 cup of the low-carb marinara would be really good, because this kind of reminds me of chicken parm or something like that. And you could use some Italian seasonings instead of the paprika. And then I'm going to season this cheese as well with the rest of my salt, pepper, and paprika mix. Paprika really gives this a nice color, and this is the Spanish smoked paprika, so it's going to be a little bit of a smoky taste too, which if you've ever tried it, it's really good. Definitely tastes different than regular paprika in my opinion. Okay, So this is going to go into a 350-degree oven. It's going to bake for 20 minutes, and then we're going to put it under the broiler for 5 to 10 minutes. So this coating, this cheese on top, gets really brown and gooey and delicious. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this video, and I'll show you the finished product in a picture.